Okay, and tell us about your memoir.
My memoir is based on pop culture. It's called Anthony Shabbo, the most expertise man in pop culture history. And we're doing a movie. It's called The Anthony Shabbo Saga, Volume 1, Volume 4 for Trauma and Pride.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite YouTuber and teacher of the Pop Culture Open, the number one YouTuber in the world. It's time for my outline for part two of my outline for my part one of my biopic.
Anthony Shabbo is definitely not the typical type of Lolcow that I would be covering on this channel. Typically, I like to reserve slots on this channel for the worst of the worst, people who are victimizing others, and especially the youth. But every so often, there's a character or two in these communities that just needs to be covered because of how absolutely asinine and ass backwards they seem to be. And one of those that I've had my eye on for a while in the physical media community is Anthony Shabbo. Now, apparently Anthony Shabbo is an aspiring actor, director, screenwriter, etc. His online presence goes back very far. You can see videos as early as 2011, but they definitely go before that. As always, shout out to The Perfect Citizen. I got a rough outline on this guy from there, and I will be having a few clips from his interview with Anthony in this video, so definitely go check out their channel, links in the description. Anthony has gotten a reputation for basically beefing with every other person in the physical media community. Whether it be Dan, whether it be Ben, nobody is safe from Anthony's wrath. Now, it was rather hard to find a lot of these more controversial things because Anthony has like 6 different channels all with like the same exact name. Some just have spaces, some don't. It definitely got tedious. Plus he uploads daily, so it gets really hard to find everything. So I did my best to find the most interesting parts here, and hopefully we'll be able to tell the story of this guy. Now, whether it be trying to force other physical media community members into voting for Trump, or just being an absolute menace among the community, we're gonna have a bunch of ups and downs in this Anthony Shabbo story. So let's get right into it.
Part two of my outline for my part one of my biopic, and shout out to Momo Zine and Sherlock and R on this. Here we go. In the outline, we see a young Anthony, 14, 15 years old, looking in the mirror. You know, he looks in the mirror, water running and everything. He tried to shave his face and everything, and then he looks in the mirror, and then he shaves himself, and then he sees a reflection. He sees a reflection of older Anthony in the mirror, and then he said, "Holy shit!" and everything. It was everything, and then they interact and everything. They look, and he looks at him like that. And that was the end of part two of my outline.
So something I learned really quickly is that Homeboy has a tendency to spend most of the videos shouting out his channel, telling people to subscribe, follow him on IG, all these other places, more than he does actually sharing the story of this so-called documentary or biography he's been working on for basically his entire time on YouTube. Now, it seems like he has a bunch of harmless ambitions, but again, as we mentioned, he seemingly beefs with just about everybody around him if they seemingly share just a slightly different opinion than he does. We'll check out a little bit more of him describing this outline. I would do it in chronological order, but it seems like part 1 and 3 and quite a few others are kind of gone, and there's supposed to be like 10 apparently, so I'm not really sure. But I'm gonna go to part 4 because that's the next one I can find, and then we'll move on from there, just so you can get an idea of the type of person we're dealing with here.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite YouTuber, Anthony Shabbo, the Pop Culture Open, the number one YouTuber in the world. It's time for part 4 of my byline for the Anthony Shabbo Fail House production version of the Anthony Shabbo saga. Here's part 4, where he grow up 10 years later, where he goes to high school, and then the girls were looking at him, and then he saw this girl named Olinda Pineda, and he became friends with her, and then he was the king of cool. He was wearing his Washington Redskins Deion Sanders shirt. He was amazing and everything. He was awesome. And then he goes into school and everything with the hair. And then he forms a bow crew. And he gets lunch. And then he works at the cafeteria. And then 2 years later, he goes to prom. And then he dances, and him and Linda was going to be prom king, but they lost. And then he won some awards. And then he graduated, and then he said, damn.
So I know what you're all thinking, Swamp Dweller, why are we covering this guy? Of course he's just another mentally ill guy on the internet posting his stuff. Why are we covering him? Well, unfortunately, Anthony Shabbo has a bad habit of calling out people and being quite nasty to them online, especially if they don't answer him or 100% give them their attention all the time, and especially if you're not a massive Trumper. He seems to be big on that MAGA wave, and while I personally could give a shit less about politics, I've always found it very cringy when you stop being friends or even talking to family over that type of shit. It's like the lowest IQ move you could possibly do. Why isolate yourself because somebody has a different opinion? So stupid. Anyways, a good example of this would be the times that Anthony was yelling at Mr. Acrizzi, who apparently just had different beliefs than him and he just couldn't accept it. So let's check out some of that.
Mr. Crazy, aka Alex Bean, was a friend of mine. He was a good friend of mine, but he blocked me for no given reason and everything. I just found out that Mr. Crazy is a zoophile that supports animal porn and everything. And I lost Mr. Crazy a few months ago because he blocked me for no reason.
Well, as we can see, it's not quite true that he was blocked for no reason. You can see that he's definitely doing just a little bit of harassing toward good old Mr. Acrizzi here, threatening him, saying he's gonna come to his school, to quit his job, and to support Trump by all means necessary, and it's absolutely diabolical work.
Alright, Anthony, please stop telling me that you love me. I don't love you. I'm not gay. Just stop saying.
So one of the many enemies Anthony Shabbo has made over his time on YouTube is somebody by the name of Nintendork665, which is awkward because I actually know somebody with a very similar username who has nothing to do with any of this community, and it's just gonna feel really weird to say their name now. But the Nintendork665 is over Anthony in his antics and does not want to deal with it any longer. So you're letting Anthony know that his politics, the way he treats people, and the interesting way he says he loves people is not okay.
Okay, this is going to be a serious video. Anthony Chobot, he needs to stop shoving politics down people's throats. He needs to stop pestering people, telling them to quit their jobs and support Donald Trump. I think he stopped pestering Mr. Acrizzi to quit his job and support Donald Trump. He needs to. He also stalks women 24/7, and that also needs to stop. You're just a simp. You're simping for these women who don't even know you, and they don't want to be. They don't. Basically, what I'm trying to say, they don't want to be. They don't want anything to do with you.
And of course it wouldn't be a typical Lolcow video on this channel without somebody doing something absolutely deplorable. And of course he can't just harass people about Trump, he can't just harass people about his opinions and fight with people in the community. He's gotta be weird to women. Now, as far as I know, I haven't heard any weird PDF allegations around this particular Lolcow, but just hearing that he's the biggest fanboy for Trump, telling people to quit their jobs, and apparently harassing and stalking women is enough for me to make a video, that's for sure, because it's all deplorable, it's all despicable. None of this behavior should be at all overlooked regardless of what mental illness you may have, what disability you may have. It doesn't make any of it okay, and accountability still needs to be a thing. And I'm sure there's gonna be several people who watch this video and are like, wow, Swamp Dweller, are you talking crap against Trump? No, I'm really not. Like, I could care less about politics. I've said that at least twice in this video so far. It's not about the politics, it's about the way you discuss the politics. It's about the way you treat the people around you because of politics. I could care less if you're blue, red, green, yellow, none of that shit matters to me. What matters is how you treat the people around you because of those things.
Friday! Are you ready for the greatest misfit?
Hello everybody, my name is Volker from Perth and I'd like to introduce
Anthony Chobot. Best thing for misfits since the Myrtle Turtle. Better than Greg. Anthony Chobot. Preach! It's Chobot time. Swagalicious. Best thing for misfits since
David Lopez.
better than dispensational premillennialism. Better than Greg. Anthony Chobot.
So as you can imagine, as I'm going through these lolcows within the YouTube physical media community, I'm slowly but surely losing my brain cells at a rapid rate. And if it wasn't for other people who have already done some groundwork for me, I don't think I would truly ever understand what I'm actually looking at. So next we're going to check out a little bit of an interview from the Perfect Citizen, who definitely goes deep within these topics and very often finds a way to interview these physical media community members. So we're going to get a little bit of actual interview here with Anthony Shabbo and get a little bit of insight of why he acts the way he does. Again, massive shout out to the Perfect Citizen for this.
Yes,
And
but
what's
it's
it-
not
what's it gonna
done
be
yet.
called?
It's gonna be about my memoirs growing up and everything. It's gonna be about pop cultures, everything.
Everything's gonna be in it.
Yeah, everything will be in it. You're gonna be in it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay, I'm looking forward to it, my friend. What was your experience like in high school?
It was good. I was popular. I was there for 5 years in Francis Lewis. I was a popular guy, you know.
And
Yeah.
you had a lot of friends there.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends. Yeah, we formed a bow crew and everything. They used to follow me around. We used to be a group. I used to work for the cafeteria. It was fun. It was fun and everything.
Would you consider yourself the king of New York?
Yeah, but Biggie, but in rap terms, the Notorious B.I.G. is the king of New York. You
Okay,
know,
so
I'm the king of New York.
that's the rap world, but you're the king of New York.
Yes, I am.
Have you heard of World of T-shirts by any chance?
No, unfortunately.
Now this interview is going to go on for a few more minutes. I'll play a little bit more clips, but you'll get a good idea of what kind of person this guy is. He's definitely a little bit out there, not as bad as the rest that we've covered in the physical media community. Super abrasive, super confrontational. But if that's the worst that it gets, then I would say I'd take this type of lolcow over the rest any day. But don't take my word as gospel, because we might learn that this guy is creepier and weirder than he is on the surface.
Who is Bianca Bailey?
Bianca Bailey used to be a girl that I used to talk to online, but we broke up over money.
Over money.
Yeah, she wanted money, and we broke up.
So you were dating her at one point?
I was dating her at one point, yes, online. We started dating at the beginning of the year. You know, she's an OnlyFans content creator, and we broke up.
But you were dating at one point in the year.
We were dating one point in the year, yes.
Did she block you?
No, I blocked
She didn't
her.
block.
Now, obviously, to set the record straight, she blocked him, and it was a very unmutual relationship. I am looking deeper into Anthony, and hopefully I will learn more about him. But I wanted to cover him enough to be able to have him a part of the series because he is a pretty integral part of the whole YouTube physical media community. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you guys want to know more about this guy, definitely check out The Perfect Citizen. He's got a great video and a great interview about this on his channel that is linked in the description. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, leave me down comments below, and I'll see you soon.